Hello everybody, welcome to the Duke London podcast, episode 38, and I am here with Marion. How do I pronounce your last name? Motin?
Yeah, very good, Motin. Yeah.
Because I've been saying like Motin.
But it's good, yeah, people said Motin.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this with me.
You're
Super
welcome.
appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I've like seen you dance, I think for a long time. Like I started 2007 and I remember like watching some videos of you like from the battle scene. I don't remember which battles, but like way back, and then some of the Swaggers stuff. I remember really loving the performance at Fusion Concept.
Yes.
Yeah. So just kind of like watching bits and pieces, and you were like, I guess one of the people I was watching and being like, oh yeah, I know I really like Marion's work. Sorry if you can hear the helicopters, guys. Yeah, so it's really nice. And, you know, we met the first time last couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
When we filmed the
Like
video
2
with
weeks ago,
Clara. So that was super nice, and everyone seemed to love the video and the pictures and stuff. So yeah, super happy to talk to you.
Me too.
So you're in London working with Rambert.
Yes.
So tell me about that. Actually, let's go back. How did you go from battling and being someone in that kind of scene to like, okay, now you're working with like ballet contemporary companies and being asked to choreograph, and like, obviously it's a long process, but
Yes, it's a long process.
yeah.
But in dance, but you have several things to do. Like you can do battling, you can teach, you can do commercial, you can do theater show. And I really like to do everything because I can feel bored if I do only one thing. So I always did battle, teaching, commercial and theater show. Even if I was really in the underground scene.
Yeah.
Voilà. And it was more hip hop theater show. But then I grew up and I work with like a contemporary choreographer as a dancer. And it opens my mind a bit. And sometimes at a moment I was really like, I feel a bit too tiny in the hip hop moves. And I needed to, en fait, I did that tour with Madonna. And just before going on stage with Madonna, I was doing battle again. And I was like, not having the inspiration anymore. And I feel blocked in my moves and in my dance. And I was like, I can't feel it anymore. And after Madonna, I was like, okay, I need a new inspiration. So I went to listen other style of music. The music I listen every day in my life, and not always hip hop, but all kind of music. Yeah. And then I start training on the other style of music, and so developing my dance in another way, more experimental, abstract, a bit of this, a bit of that, but also a bit more of me. I really wanted to move, and not doing move that we know as a hip hop move, as a house move, as a locking move. And after that, it went just like that. Like I keep doing that and creating my own style. No asking me, is that okay? Is that hip hop? Is that house? Is that contemporary? No, just do my shit and do what I want to do. Yeah. So it comes to a contemporary scene because you can't say I'm a contemporary dancer. I'm not, but I'm just like a dancer who do what I want to do. So it brings me to work more and more with contemporary scene and other scene, and to choreograph other shit, other things.
Yeah, you can swear at it.
Other things, not hip hop at all, but always inspired and keeping the hip hop vibe inside of me. And then Rambert Benoit called me and to ask me to work with Rambert.
So when you do these things, like how do you kind of, through the companies or through yourself, like do you market yourself as I'm a hip hop choreographer or a contemporary or you're just a choreographer?
I'm just a choreographer.
Okay.
Because when I did my first big show, theater show with Swaggers, and people said it's not hip hop. It's like so they said experimental hip hop.
But did you say this is a hip hop show, or they just came to you and said, "Hey, that's not hip hop"?
Yes.
Okay.
But not in a bad way. Like it's not hip hop, but we feel the energy of hip hop. But it's not hip hop moves. We don't know the moves. It's another.
This was in France.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but I like it so much. But it was different. And
which show was it? I might have seen it.
In the Middle. It's a long show, like 1 hour show with swaggers.
Maybe I didn't see the 1 hour.
And I had that big work in light because I love light. So I create all the lights with my lighter.
Yeah.
But really, it was not a hip hop show.
Okay.
And so the more I go, the more people stop saying you're a hip hop dancer or choreographer. You're a dancer and a choreographer.
Yeah. But did people want to market you in? Because I'm having a lot of these conversations with different people here and stuff, and you know about Breaking Convention, right?
Yeah.
And I just had John Z, the guy who runs it, on the podcast, and we were talking about the term like hip hop theater, because it's something that I've had a lot of conversations about, and I just hear these conversations happening about the marketing of a choreographer being like, I'm a hip hop choreographer, and one or two ways, like one not wanting to be called hip hop and just being like, I'm just a choreographer, or the other one being like, they're doing something really different, but they're still trying to say, no, but this is hip hop, and it's like, okay. But yeah, it's interesting because I think what John Z was saying is a lot about around the like marketing of it, like it saying like it's hip hop theater or you're a hip hop choreographer. It's a way of marketing and bringing in an audience. So I guess like has there ever been any programmers or anything that have tried to maybe like, has there ever been any conversations where they've been like, oh, we want to say like Marion the hip hop choreographer, and you've been like, no, or it just naturally happened that?
No, I let them say what they want to say.
Okay.
I don't say I'm a hip hop choreographer.
Really?
Because I don't think I am. What I say is that I keep the hip hop philosophy. Because for me, hip hop is more a philosophy about you are you and you do what you want to do. Maybe it's a French way because French dancer hip hop are really like, I do that and that's like that I do and it's my way to do it and fuck.
Yeah.
And so it's very French, but I let them calling however they want, because sometimes they need to bring the show in a hip hop festival. So they said, okay, hip hop choreographer. Sometimes they bring the show in a contemporary scene. So they said, I'm a contemporary choreographer. But
and you don't care really?
I don't care because they do. I know people have to put you in a case, and I don't do that for me.
Yeah.
So if they need to do it, okay, do it. If you want to sell ticket for that audience or that audience,
sure.
I don't care. Me, I'm not lying to myself. I do what I want to do, and I can't call it. I can't have a name on it. It's just my style. So it's my style, and I have no name for that. It's just dance.
That's interesting. So I guess you just kind of went into how you wanted to dance and let that become your identity and your style.
But yes, because if you do, nowadays hip hop is very codified, and sometimes I watch code or moves I know, and I'm like, okay, I know that move. I don't give a fuck about that move. Like if everybody can do that move, how can I decide which one do the best this move? So what I interested in, it's about how you move, and you can learn all the hip hop technique, all the moves, all things, and after, for me, you just have to kind of forget it and do what you want to do, because otherwise we all dance the same. Like it's moves. So
and I think for me, especially speaking in a battle context, like this is something that I see it doesn't make sense. It's almost like a paradox. It doesn't make sense. It's like everybody thinks that the right way to do a style is to do all the things that you're told. Like, okay, if I'm a popper, I'm going to learn every single boogaloo step, or if I'm a hip hop dancer, I'm going to learn all the social dances. But then the people that are the top of the battle scene are the ones that didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if with any, you can name like any of the top like 10 hip hop battlers, but they're all the ones, a lot of them are the ones that like, even like Le Twins is a great example, but it's like just being like, we're going to go on this way of doing things and we're going to stick so hard on it. Salah, like whoever, like, and that makes them rise to the top. And everybody else sees that and still says, oh no, I'm going to do all the same moves, or you know what I mean? It's a really weird, like, we see what's happening, right? So why are we all not doing that?
But because it's so hard to look at you and to listen to you and said, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do. It's like for a lot of people, it's like, but what am I going to do? You have to meet yourself, you have to listen to yourself, and you have to be really honest with you. So I think it's more difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Instead of learning base and foundation and do it and try to do it well. Because it's like, I don't know, when you sing, when you paint, when you do things like that, you can do like a Picasso style or but it's Picasso style, it's not your style. If you want to do paint, do what you want. After, it's important to learn if you want to embrace the hip-hop culture, to learn the history, the moves, the technique, to understand everything so you know where does it come from.
Yeah.
But after, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because the people who create that dance, I don't think they said, I'm a hip-hop dancer, I'm going to create that moves because I'm a hip-hop. There was just partying and do that move and okay. And that became a move of hip-hop, but they didn't think about, I'm going to create that move for the hip-hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's normal to learn all this, but we need to be separated at the moment of all the foundation and the base, keep it inside and just move it and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and see what comes out. Yeah.
With yourself and your history and your background.
Totally agree. Do you find that like when you start this journey of like, I'm going to be myself kind of thing, it's like, and maybe this is why not a lot of people do that, but it's like that there's a period where people reject it first before they...
Attends, let me close the door because people are doing wood style. But the thing is that when you do what you want to do, you always have people who don't like and people who like. So, and it's less difficult when you do your things to, less difficult. Because you're totally you, it's okay. You know you can't be loved by everybody. So it's okay, just do what you think. You love what you think. You work for this, but... And if you do something that it's not really you and people don't like you, I think it's worse because you want to match with something. So if people doesn't like the way you match, I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah.
I see that a lot with people that like, and I had to learn this growing up, that there's a way to take advice from people, because I think there's still a lot of people, especially again in the battle scene, but just artistically, that they like ask for somebody's advice and they're like, oh, you should dance like this. And it's like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then the other person says, no, you should dance like this. And it's like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then they just go back and forth between trying to please different people, especially if it's someone like big or like a pioneer said, oh, no, you need to do more this. And they're like, okay, cool. But then they never really get anywhere because they're just going back and forth, like trying to please different people. And it's like, okay, but how do you want to dance? And they're like, how do you want me to dance? I don't know.
Exactly. You need to please you.
Yeah.
Because dancing is a pleasure. So you need to first please you. And after, you don't care.
And I guess you're saying like, if you be yourself and fail, or if you like don't be yourself and fail, it's worse to like not be yourself and fail.
Yes.
So you might as well.
If you're yourself and you failed, it's like when you do a show and you really love the show, you did you're choreographing your things and you're like, okay, that's what I really wanted to do. I'm proud of it. And people don't like it. It's okay. You're like, okay. And you are able to listen, to take the critical and say, okay, why did you don't? Okay. Oh, this is okay. Yes, but because you're proud of you, it's like, you don't care, but it's okay.
Yeah. It's disappointing, but okay, we can move past.
If you're proud of you, it's okay. And if you did something to make people happy, to please people, it's awful because people don't like it, and you did it for them. It's like,
yeah.
shit.
So I guess then my question would be, when it comes to a more practical, like a practical way of gaining success as a choreographer or as a dancer, because I think one thing I see from you is like you seem to be one of those people that you have a really distinct style. Like it's really, really different, and you have like, not weird in a bad way, but you know what I mean? Like it's just weird in like that's like, I would never, why would you think to move like that or to do that? And I think that's what makes it amazing. That's what I love about your work, is like, it's not what I would think to do. So that's why I like it. But I guess then if okay, let's say you're early Marion and you decided, okay, fuck all this, I'm going to do what I want to do. And then you have now Marion where people are celebrating that about you. But in between, you had to like get to, like you had to maybe do applications for residencies or for shows or for whatever, or you had to audition or send your work for a music video or something. But was there pressure of like, what's like, this is strange, like we don't know, like we want it to look more like this famous person, you know what I mean? And you had to be like, because you have to maintain this style, right?
Yeah.
But if people are saying like, putting pressure to like, we want you to look, can you choreograph more like this? Can you actually make it look a bit like this dancer? Or
But en fait, the thing is that it came so naturally, like it was really like I couldn't dance anymore this way. Like I remember I was with Swaggers and we were working for a new small show, like 3 minutes. And we were in the street because we used to rehearse in the street. And we were dancing and I was like doing hip hop moves. And I was like, girls, I'm going to quit dancing. I can't. It's not done. Me anymore. I'm not 15 anymore. I can't do that. It's not right with me inside. And they were like, shit, what's happened to you? Really? And it's like, and I remember a few days after, I was like looking at the sky and I just realized that I was looking like this for a long years. And now I was like, but I can do all this. Why I have to be only hip hop? Why? Hip hop brings me there because I love hip hop music, because I love hip hop dance and hip hop culture. But I don't have to let me be only this hip hop dancer. I can be all me. And all me, all day. I don't listen only hip hop music. I listen Spanish music, fado, Italian, all classical, everything. So it was like, just be the whole version of you, you know, not only the hip hop version, be the whole version. So it started like that. And then life just bring me people to meet that it was okay with that.
Oh yeah?
Like, yes.
Nice.
I mean, I did that Madonna tour and I wasn't good in my dancing and what I was doing on stage there, but it was like the last things for me to do. And then when I came back, it's when I came back. So I really wanted to switch that, or stopping dance, or being, let me coming out like I'm a dancer. I'm not only a hip hop dancer. I want to be everything I want to be. And so I met Stromae, the Belgium singer.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you...
I know of, but I don't know.
He's very famous in Belgium, France and stuff. And he's like, I want to do dance, but I don't want to have dancer background. I want to really have dancers with me. So I really start with him choreographing in another way. And we were in rehearsal and he thought I was coming with a routine. And I was not. I just let him improvise to see how does he moves and to connect with his body movement and his body human. And so I start to choreograph him for him, based on him. And then that was my first way to embrace that new career. It's not about me doing moves for the others. It's me doing moves about what you are. You know what I mean? With artist singer. And so after that, I met Christine and the Queens. And every time it was like I met the right people at the right moment who was okay with my way to move and to bring them to this. So it just came naturally. So nobody ever told me like, can you choreograph something more like that or more like that? Because, and I was really lucky because with Stromae, it's been so huge that people, it's more like people went and tell me, can you do something for me a bit like Stromae? And I was like, you're not Stromae. I'm not going to do Stromae on you. You're not him.
Yeah.
You know, and so it just started like that. And I met people that really let me be who I wanted to be and let them be who they are. So we just connect and do something in between them and me and Brum. Every time it was like that. So it was perfect because I never been like Brum. I mean, sometimes it was not so good. I was not so satisfied because it's art. I mean, you can't be every time inspired and things like that. But it was an easy way in that sense because the moment you want to switch inside, it's a very difficult way. It's really like a therapy, introspection, very hard because you have foundation in dance and you just do and you just look at yourself and you're like, who am I? How am I gonna dance? What I want to do. So it takes me a lot. And every day I was dancing at home, trying to dance, to listen and to dance at the moment how I wanted to dance. And it was so hard because every time I had posture or foundation or things that I already know and learned that came back and I was like, no, it doesn't feel right. It's not what I want to do right now. So it was all about deconstruction and reconstruction. Really hard because you really feel like a shit.
Yeah.
But after you feel so stronger.
Yeah.
Because it's you.
So when you were, I guess, what was I going to say? When you were reconstructing and deconstructing, like, was it based on, because you said like how I want to dance, like what's the right way and this is not the right. So you were able to identify like when you move like, okay, that's like my training and this is what I want to do and separate them, which I think even that doing that is, some people can't do that. Like I would find that really hard. But I guess, was it based on what you like to look at and what you like to see? Like, is it looking in the mirror and you were like, oh, this looks like how I want to look? Or
no.
It was nothing. It was just, this is how I feel I need to move.
Exactly. It's the separation of how I want to look and how I am and how I look. Because but in dance, we often want to look this way. I like how he dances.
Yeah.
I'm going to dance this way. But you're not him. It's cool. You can,
yes, of course. Yeah.
You can take something, you can be inspired,
yeah.
But you're not him. You don't have the same body. You don't have the same soul. You don't have the same way to move. So it was more about not looking in the mirror, be in myself, and just let my body be honest. And so I was thinking about who I am, what I like, what makes me feel good. It's really about what makes me feel good. What is the good way to feel good? Pleasure, and one more, really honesty. Very important to be honest and don't judge myself and just do things and explore and let my body move as he want to be. Because I think like when people dance really as they are, you can really link their personality in life
definitely.
And their dance.
Yeah.
Because dancing is just a way to express. Of course. And dancing is the way to express yourself. So you obviously need to be linked to you. And if your dance is not linked to you, so it's not your dance that you do, it's the dance of somebody else. So it was really like reconnected with me, my pleasure, who I am, and express myself in a movement, in a pleasure. And not look at me, not judge me, just be inside and feel, and don't judge and feel and let it go. But it was so hard. It was so hard. But
I can imagine.
Every day train like that, and after you just...
But then once you, like, after that, did you then say, because your work, I mean, for it to be successful, it would have to also look good. Like when I see Rouge or when I see some of the music videos, these like they look beautiful. Like the visuals for Rouge are amazing. Like I really love them. Even the visuals in terms of the staging, the costume, everything. But also the way the dancers look and move, and obviously they're amazing dancers. But there's something that you've done, I would assume, consciously to say, oh, this looks good and this other move doesn't look as good. So did you then take, okay, this is the Honestly Me. How do I make Honestly Me look good? Did you build on it like that?
Because for me, what is looking good? Honesty. That's all. For me, it's my vision.
Okay.
Because when I meet someone and you can see like you meet people and you say, wow, this person has something. And for me, when I'm like on people, it's not because they are beautifully look. It's because they are so themselves, like no posture, no pretending doing, just them. And so I'm like, wow, you're so beautiful. Because I have access to the real you inside. And for me, this is so beautiful. And so a move, it's the same. I don't try to have a beautiful move. I try to have a honest move, a really feel-good move, honest move, and to go really inside of it. So, yes, no, it's really not about, it looks good. It can look great, but I just made this step, for fun, laughing, like, and, yes, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it came from something real. You know what I mean? It's really, I never think about
even like the sort of how do you say it? Like the practical elements of choreography. Like, okay, this move, like we can't see it at the back of the stage, so you need to do it big. Like these type of things. Like, okay, if you're gonna do a move and it feels good, but you're like, okay, this is gonna be performed in a stadium or something, and you're like, this is maybe too small. I need to work with bigger moves to make it read, or it's only 2 people on a big stage, so I want to make them travel more. You know, these like little things where it's like you might have to adjust. Was that consciously in there, or is it really even in that moment you're like, we're just going to stand still in the middle of the stage, like we're not going to, you know what I mean?
Yes, it's very that I really listen to when I choreograph, when I do something and then I look, I really watch and I'm like feeling everything. And every time something does not feel right, like inside, I don't know how to explain, but I just feel like it's not the right move. And not because it's not beautiful, just because it's not the right move. It's like sometimes I think it's like a watch. If you want the watch to give time and work, it's a lot of process inside. For me, it's the same. It's like, and I just listen to what I feel inside my body and like, no, that move is not the good one. And so I just need to switch something or to try something else. Yes, it's the good one. And why is the good one? Because when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, I feel it's the good one. And stadium, big moves, energy, I don't think like that. I just think that if it's the good move, you're going to really be into that move. And the energy, it's going to go far because you're really going to be into that move. And that's how I work with the dancer of Rouge. It's like you can't be over a move. You can't just do a move. You have to be the move. You have to be the music. You have to be 100% the movement inside. It's about materia. It's not about just doing a move and don't know what you do. You have to feel the move. And even if it's a small move, if you really feel it, I can tell you that people right over the end, they're going to see that. Like if you take Michael Jackson, he doesn't move. And then he does. And it's like, he just did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I was with Madonna on tour for her birthday, she bring Los Farrucos. It's a family of gypsy flamenco dancers.
Okay.
And there was this little kid. We were all the dancer, the crew, like looking at the show. He was alone, hair like that, not moving, looking at us. And we were like, holy shit, he wasn't moving.
Yeah.
He was just standing. And we were like, what is it? It's a monster. And I just realized that it's not about doing a move. It's just about being. And I work with that with dancers too. Like, try to stand. Don't move. In front of an audience, it's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can move and do a lot of things. But staying like that, being yourself, looking at the audience, and being charismatic because you're so okay with that.
Yeah.
It's so hard, but it's so magical.
Yeah, because also you can kind of hide behind, even in yourself, you can hide behind fast movement. Like,
exactly.
If you're always moving, even if it's not true, you feel like the audience is engaged.
Ouais.
Because you're like, I'm doing a lot. Of course they're engaged. But if you stand still, you're like, oh, they're bored. Like, you feel all the thoughts come in your head of like, oh, they're just looking at me. They want me to do something. Like, you feel the pressure, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see it in like some freestyle. Sometimes people are just moving. And you're like, okay, I don't see you anymore. You move too much. You give me too much information. I can't follow you.
Yeah.
Tu vois? And so when you don't move, then you do a move, then you just slow down and ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
I love contrast. And for me, once again, the more important is to be so much inside of you that it's so powerful. You can't imagine how powerful is it when you have someone really there, incarnated. It's crazy. For me, it's like the best thing.
I love that.
Because any move you do, take a volume, you know, anything you do. Once again, look at Michael Jackson. It's Michael, he's here. Bam, he doesn't move. He just do that. But it's so like powerful because he's Michael, so he's got a lot of power and he knows after a moment, but he's him. He's so incarnated. And you can see that with dancers sometimes, like they just do a little movie. It's like, wow, that's shit.
Yeah. I guess also when you are working with good dancers, there's more of a possibility for them to do this.
Yeah, but what is a good dancer? A good dancer?
Good question, but maybe in terms of being in touch with your body. So for me, it's like, okay, through training, like people at Rambert, they train very hard. So when you say to them, like, do a move, like they know how to control their body. They know how to, like, they want to put energy into something and they want to do it. I guess for me, like people that are more amateur or just started or are not so in control of their body, you say like, put energy into the move and they can't. It's like, how do I put energy? I just make my arms bigger. Like I think it's a trained skill sometimes.
Yeah, sure. Of course. But when I start working with Stromae, the singer, he's not a professional dancer. And really on stage, people was like, what? Because he's so incarnated. And so the only little things he do, he's really tall, thin and long arms. And he was sometimes just moving a bit. And it was crazy because it was so powerful because he was so in his body. So sometimes you can have like good technical dancers, but they are not here. So it's performance, it's technique, but it doesn't touch me. And you have less technical, but they are so they are so inside their body that when they do a move, the move is powerful, you know?
True.
But after, yes, you train and you get connected to your body, you know how to put energy, etc. But for me, the first technique, the most important technique is to feel your body inside and to be conscious of your body and your energy.
This is good advice.
Like the Tai Chi guy, the samurai, you know, they know how to use the energy. And for me, I work a lot with that and with Rambert too, like the Chi, how you use your energy, how you make it out, how you take it, how you just play with it inside. And it's about changing the materia of your Chi inside, how to use it. The vital energy. Live, hurt, I don't know.
I don't know. That's really interesting. So, because obviously you started your choreographic, I would assume, like journey with Swaggers.
Yes.
That was like the first people you were choreographing on and stuff. Do you feel like it was easier? I'm thinking of like, well, me, but like people who are like up and coming, kind of like younger choreographers who want to do more. It's like, I think one conversation that I've started to have with people that I wasn't having before, and now I'm starting to learn, is like all the kind of logistics of being a choreographer, touring, like these type of things, right? And like, for example, one thing that I learned that I think I spoke to Johnsy about, but is like sometimes the amount of dancers in your piece can affect whether you would get brought for a festival or something, because they have to pay for like flights, accommodation. So if you have a duo or you have 12 people, they're like, no, we like them both, but we're taking the duo because it's cheaper. We don't have enough budget left. And this is something that I was like, I never thought the amount of dancers I choose for my piece can affect the success of the piece, regardless of like how good it was, you know? But so did you find the difference of like, okay, when you were working with Swaggers or when you're just working by yourself, it's like a different journey, or it's easier to do things, or it's harder to do things when you're just by yourself? Or what was the differences between the two?
What do you mean by myself? Like
for example, like Rambert calling and saying, you know, we want you to come, because obviously they're not saying come with your dancers, they're saying come and work with our dancers. So in that way you're like by yourself, kind of, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like you don't need to bring people with you.
No, but it's easier for me. I mean, it's the same work I do with Swaggers that I do with Rambert. I choreograph the girls. I mean, we are a crew and they are my sisters. Yeah. So it's just another way to work, because but we had so much fun with Rambert dancers. It was really a playground. Sorry.
No.
It was really a playground, and we were playing and talking and trying things and laughing and just doing weird things and improvising. And so it's the same way to work. And I need to be alone to choreograph, to be in touch with my feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So was there points where, because I don't know, because the way you describe your journey, it sounds a lot like it was more, you kind of moved from opportunity to opportunity rather than being like planning a path. Is that, would you say that?
Yeah.
So was there any points where you were like, like, okay, I want to do this thing. I can either suggest to them like, oh, like I'm going to bring Swaggers, or you can go to them and be like, I'm going to come as Marion by myself. You know what I mean? Like, did you have to make decisions like that?
No, because
or it just came to you in that way.
It just came to me in that way. I mean, I did that show with Swaggers, the 1 hour theater show, and we tour a lot. And after, I made a solo, a 1 hour. Comment you call it, a solo? Ouais, maybe, 1
hour solo.
Ouais, it was so hard to create it.
Yeah, I bet. So
hard, because you have nobody to see what you do in another body. Choreograph, for me, it's really, really hard. And you know, about what you said, duo, cheaper, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Don't forget that for big theater, they need people on stage, you know, and a solo makes people scary, because you're like alone on stage for 1 hour. Okay, you are Marion Motin, but some people were too scared to buy it. You know?
How do you mean? Because they think it's not going to be good? Or?
No, because for the audience, they said there's only one people on stage. You know? People on stage... Ah ouais, pardon. People on stage, ça rassure les gens. Rassure? Non, c'est quoi? Merde. What is that word? People who buy show are more like... Okay, you have people on stage, so it's cool. You only one on stage. Oh my God, what for the audience? You know what I mean?
That's
like
interesting.
you can't sell a solo everywhere, or you can sell a short solo, but a 1 hour.
Yeah, maybe it's the timing, the levels of it. Kind of like if it's maybe mixed bill and smaller showcases, they want less so they can take more.
Yes.
But for maybe like a 1 hour big show.
Voilà. And I was like, and I did that solo because, okay, I don't have money. I want to do another show. I can't pay the dancers. Okay, let's do a solo. I will not pay me.
And then also rehearsal space is cheaper.
Yes.
You just buy yourself, you know.
You know, you can rehearse everywhere. But it was harder than doing a piece with a lot of people.
To choreograph
and to sell it, like to tour. Because it was a solo, really special, abstract. Like I have my dear...
I think I saw some pictures or something. Yeah. I haven't seen the show, but yeah.
And it was really weird. I mean, I love it, but it's really different, like really contemplative.
Yeah.
Like really weird. Why am I talking about it?
Is you saying it's harder to sell and harder to choreograph?
Yeah, jumping on what you said.
Yeah.
But no, I plan things, but not really like, I will do that. No, it's just like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I don't know, sometimes I was like, oh, I want to work for a commercial luxury. And like 2 months after, they called me for a commercial luxury. I was like, okay, cool, thank you. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like I just said to me what I want to do. It's not planning things. It's just like sending in the universe, oh, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. But I'm lucky because for the moment, right people call me on the right time. Like it's just, but after when you start doing something and it works, like Stromae and Christine and the Queens, Resist, Jean-Paul Gaultier, you know, and you have your works is getting more view, and so people want to work with you.
It's like an avalanche. It's like one thing happens and then it builds.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I feel like a lot of, again, like I think me and you are like in completely different worlds or like spaces where like the conversations and the people I'm around, like I have a lot of friends that are doing well and successful, but the people I'm talking to are like other people who are like me, like, okay, how do we make it? How do we do this? How do we do this shit? And then I think what's interesting is like, and sometimes it's true. And I've had conversations where it's the opposite of what you're saying, where they're like, yeah, I planned everything and this is where I wanted to be and blah, blah, blah. But I think it's interesting sometimes to hear people that are successful because maybe if I'm looking at like trying to research, like, okay, who does what I want to do? People like Marion, people like this. Okay, cool. Like, and then I'm trying to figure out, okay, how did they do that? Okay, they were really clever. They did like this and they did like this. And then sometimes you have conversations that are like, I just had fun. And you're like, fuck, how am I going to?
But that's it. I just have fun.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes they call me for do things and I'm like, it's big shit. It's big things. And I'm like, well, but I don't feel it. I'm not going to have fun.
Yeah.
I don't do it. I only do projects where am I going to have fun, you know? Because I know, and sometimes it's arrived really one time, I think. And I said yes to a project because it was really well paid, but I did shit.
The dance.
The dance I did, it was like, it's shit.
But did they like it?
Yeah, I don't even know. I just want to forget.
You're like, don't tell
me. You know? Because I didn't have fun. I didn't like the music. I didn't like the setup. Everything. Yeah. It was like, I didn't want to do it. And I did it for the money. And I never do it again. I mean, sometimes you have to make choice.
Yes.
And if you want to work to be good, for me, I have to have fun. It's my priority. I want to vibration. I want to have fun. I want to be, because if you like what you do, you have so much energy to do it.
Yeah.
You don't count the hour. Yeah. You're just into it. Yeah, let's do that. And you inspire and and you give yourself 100%. And I love my work because I love what you do. So I give myself 100%. So I work. I'm a hard worker. But because I love it and I have fun. If it's too hard and too painful and too, it's like, because it's dance and in dance, you bring energy, you bring things that you don't really see. It's the other things that make it magical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's how people do that dance, how they are inside it, the energy. And you can tell, like, when I had the first show with Christine and the Queen, it was in a small venue. And there's a big choreographer called Découfflé who came and see the show. And he said, you have fun when you created that choreography. I said, yes. And he said, I can tell. I can feel it on stage, you know? And it's so important because, and I think with Rambert is that too. We had so much fun and we were so intimate and it was so respectful and love. I love to work with love and love and respect because when people are on stage, you can feel it, that it was a have fun creation, you know?
Yeah.
And when it's really hard and you can feel it on stage too. So for me, it's important to inject love and fun in all the project. And that's how I get successful, I think.
Yeah.
Because I just want, I choose that work to enjoy.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Otherwise you would be an accountant or something.
Exactly. So I just want to have fun. That's all.
So, okay, let me ask you a question then, because I had this debate do you know Kenrick?
Yes.
Yeah. So me and him had a bit of this debate on one of the other podcasts about, again, me admittingly in a much less experienced position than you and Kenrick, but I'm always one to say my opinions. But we were talking about the difference of, like, let's say it like this, like creating for you or creating for the audience. And he was saying, like, and I think a lot of I don't know exactly how he phrased it, but he was more like fuck the audience kind of thing, like create for you and that type of thing. But my kind of pushback on the way I think is, I was saying that I see dance like communication, right? So like if I was locked in a room for my entire life, I wouldn't really dance. Like, I don't know if that's like the wrong mentality or something, it's just honest, but it's like I dance because I want you to feel something. Like that's like talking. Like if I'm at home by myself, I don't talk because there's nobody there. Like I talk when I want somebody to understand something, to feel something, to respond, to do something for me, whatever. So with dance it's similar, where I'm like, okay, I want to create a piece because there's people that I want them to feel what I feel. I want them to feel something that it might not even be what I feel, but I'm like, I feel this feeling from other art, so I want to create more of that art to make you feel how I feel, or something like that, right? So for me, I'm like really concentrating on how the audience feel, not in a negative way, and obviously you can go too much, like, oh, tell me more. But for me, I'm like, I want to think about the audience and how they see this and how they feel and how they react to all of it, because that's what's important to me, is how you feel when you watch me. And I think the debate we were having was, okay, but that can be, you can work the other way where you want to put on stage what you want to put on. And my friend was saying the other day, I think she posted something about, like, she doesn't care. I'll have to show you the clip, but she said, like, she doesn't care what the audience take from it, because she's like, why? I don't know you people. Like, why would I care what you take from it or what you feel? Like, I want to put this on stage, and if you like it, cool. If you don't, then cool. I'm paraphrasing, but this is kind of what she said. So, like, I guess I would just want your thoughts on, like, that type of thing. Do you think of both? Do you think of just one? Like, do you care at all what the audience think? Do you think, like, oh, in this moment, I want them to feel powerful, so I'm going to create something that gives that effect? Or is it more, I want the dancers to feel powerful, and then if the audience feel it, then cool?
Bah, en fait, it's a mix of everything, and it's like when I create, I never want to think about what the audience gonna think.
Okay.
Are they gonna like it? Why? Because it separates me, and I don't do it with what I feel. I do with what people feel. So if like it's like if I want to please people, I don't want to please people. I want to please me, but I love being on stage. I love my show being on stage. Why? Because there is an audience and it's magical what's happened. So I don't do it. I don't create it for the audience, but I create it to share it with the audience.
Right.
Of course, it's a sharing moment, and it's magical because when you're on stage and you really, one more time, I'm really like into your body in that moment, and you dare, you open your canal, how you open something, and the audience open it, and it's just, it goes like that. Yeah. And you can feel, have you ever been on stage and you can feel the audience? You just can, you can feel them. Yeah. Like, wow, it's, sometimes you just perform it. It's like, wow, it's magical. The audience was so, we were connected. And it's because you were so here, they can feel it. So you are connected. It's like when I say, when I see someone who is really who he is. Yeah. I'm like, oh, wow. And he can be hiding in the end of the room and someone is really like talking really loud and doing moves and stuff. I'm not going to look at you. I'm going to look at him, you know? And he take all the places because of his aura, because he's so himself. He doesn't lie. And voila. And so the process is like, I create something because I need to speak about that things. Yeah. It's very, personal. I don't even think about it. It's just like, one more again, it's about pleasure. Like when I create a piece, it's that I have a image that come, oh, I like it. Oh, I like this music. And then I see things inside my head. Oh, that would be good. I like it. And then you have another idea, like for my solo, I wanted to have those dear things. Yeah. And I was just, too long, but it's like several elements. Yeah. And I don't give a fuck if they are not connected. I just take it. And at a moment, the more I create, the more I see the connection. Oh, of course. But
also, I guess, like, this would be my thing is that you might not think about, you're just thinking like, oh, I want to do this, like the deer thing. You're just like, I feel like I want to do that. But you also are someone who has so much knowledge, even if you didn't consciously think like, okay, what's going to make the audience like feel like this? But you've seen so many shows, you've trained so much, so you're in your brain.
I don't see show.
But in your life, you must have seen a lot of dance. I've seen
some, but you know what inspired me? It's movies. A lot. I
was going to say something about movies, so yeah, tell me.
I love movies, and I'm really sensitive about how I react in front of movies. Okay. And it's the same when I create show. I know what I want people to feel when I do a show. Yeah. And that is, one of the things. I know that I don't want to tell the audience a story like very clear, very, very logical, because I don't like in the movie when I can't imagine things. I love when I look at the movie and why he's doing that? Oh, why? And I want to speak with the director and say, why you did that? Like, and the ending is like, why does it end like, when you see the David Lynch movie or like 2002, l'Odyssée de l'espace? I don't know if...
yeah, I know you mean. The 2001, you mean Space Odyssey?
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, why? What does it mean? What does it, And I love to questioning myself.
But in a way, he did that on purpose. You know, he thought like when he was making the film, I want you to be confused and to be intrigued. So in a way, he was making the film with the audience in mind.
Yes, kind maybe he you know did what that, I mean? But that's what I feel, and I like to feel this way, and I like to don't understand everything. I want to understand things, but not everything, because I like to let my imagination goes. And when I do a show and people come and say, oh, this talk about it and this and this, and you talk to the other and they said something totally different, I love it. Why? Because I need to leave you dream and imagine, and it's a travel, you know, for me. It's very important.
I agree. And I think this is like, for me with movies and stuff, this is something that shows like a good movie, because I spoke about this before somewhere, but like that you allow the audience to like meet you halfway. Exactly. It's like you don't go all the way to their seat and say, here's everything about the show. Like you say, I'm here. And then you let the audience go, oh, what about the, you know, and they can be active.
And for me, sorry.
No, sorry.
A show. Yeah. for me, I work in the same way. Me and you come, and you don't like, but I need to transfer the energy and the feeling. So I need me to be really tight with my feeling and really, really honest with my feeling when I create it. So fuck the audience when I create it.
Yeah.
Me and my interpret. And then honestly and then what I like is I don't want people when they come out of the theater, they are depressed. That's something I always think. I'm like, I want people to go out and just want to fuck life. Yeah. I want to charge them.
Yeah.
And this is my always point when I do, en tout cas for now, things. I want to charge people. I want to make them be happy, fully, to give them energy. I want to give them energy.
I noticed that with Rouge, I think.
Yes.
Like, it made me feel like that. It was like, yeah, I think the thing with Rouge was like, it was like really different without seeming like out of place. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we see like I think when I saw it, was it a triple bill with who was the other ones?
Wayne McGregor and Ofe Schuster.
Yes. And I think like even, it was at Sadler's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think even like some of the other shows I've been to at Sadler's, and it's like, I'm generalizing, but you get like a certain feel of like the type of show that it's going to be there. And like there's the stereotypical contemporary show, you know? But like this, I was like, oh, this is even the costumes, the music, everything. It was like very different. But yeah, it gave me like a different feeling. But I was like, oh, but it's almost like you transformed the stage to be something else, you know, which I thought was really nice. But why do you think this is like, what, not that every show is depressing, but where does this come from? You think this, like, why does a lot of work, why is it so heavy? And like, because with films we have a big range. I feel like we have really fun films, happy films, sad films, films about all sorts of things. But I feel like with dance shows in a certain space, we kind of have like, we have one emotion. It's like the sad, heavy feeling, and a lot of it is very deep and dramatic, and that's why like stuff like Rouge stands out for me, because I'm like, oh, this is fun, this is like vibrant, like, and I don't see loads and loads of these type of shows.
I think because when we create show with dance, often we talk about personal things or things in life that we are questioning by things, we are traveling hard things, and we want to expulse it. And I work like that. Like sometimes it's really like hard, and in all my show, there is always something really hard. But I don't want to give people my shit. Oh, there is my.
You feel sad now.
No, I want them to feel it, but I always want to create hope, because this is life. You're always gonna travel, deal with sad things and hard things, and so when I feel that, I want to create what I create, and then I'm like, yes, but I don't want to give my shit to the people. I want them to maybe feel it, but at the end, I want them to be recharged. I want hope always, and I like to cry in front of a movie. Some people cry sometimes in front of my show, like my new show. I see people cry, but there is hope at the end. You know, I always need, because I'm like that, because in life I always see the positive, tu vois, and I can deal with negative things and hard things, but I always want to
pick them back up.
Yes, because otherwise what you do, you just kill yourself.
Yeah.
No, you have to keep going. You have to live. You have to enjoy. You have to have pleasure. So my thing is, I want to give hope. And for me, art is that. When you listen to some song, you just want to cry, but it feels good and it feels hope. Like, I want to listen to this music because I want to cry, but I know why I'm crying, and I want to feel good. I'm gonna cry, and after it's gonna feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes I think people just want to give their shit, and like, okay, I take off my shit, I do that. I take off my shit, I do that show, but it's not good for the audience. Like, come on, give them a bit of love. You know,
it's really, I'm really happy you said that, actually, because I've felt like this before, and I always like complain about stuff. So, but no, okay. I'll be honest with myself. Like I don't complain about stuff. I always like try to analyze and critique stuff. And this is where the podcast came from, of me wanting to learn more about stuff. So, but it often, you know, when I'm with people like with Jenny or something, it's like, yo, you always complain. Like I come out the show, I'm like, I didn't like that show and here's why. But I think for me, one thing that it actually got me really angry a couple of times, not really angry, but I was a bit pissed off because I go, especially in a mixed bill, I go into the show, I see, okay, one show, then the next show. And then let's say the last show or one of the shows is really deep and heavy. And like, the thing for me is I think I'm really in touch, just for me as a person, I think I'm really in touch with my emotions, right? I think it's something that it's always on the surface. And when I feel things, I feel them really strongly. So if I'm super happy, it's like, I feel it. And if I'm sad, like, there's some movies I can't watch because I'm like, I have stuff to do tomorrow. And if I watch this movie, like, I'm just going to cry. Like, so for me, I know that about myself. So I'm really careful about how and when I consume certain things. Like I said, with the movies, like if there's a movie I know is going to be really heavy, I'm like, okay, maybe on Friday night, but I'm not watching it tonight because or, you know, it's the middle of the day and I'm going out tonight. I'm like, no, I'm not watching this movie. It's going to ruin my whole day. I can't just watch it and then be like, oh, cool. Like, this is a true story and that guy died in this. Like, anyway, what's for dinner? Like, you know, like I really feel it. So my thing was like, I've been to a few shows where I wasn't, even in the description or whatever, I wasn't really prepared for what it was going to make me feel. There was no warning in the thing. There was like, I didn't ask for this. And there was no, like you said, there was no hope. It was just really depressing and upsetting. And also I think when we get into different topics, so like, I don't know, like depression or mental health or these sort of things that people want to express as choreographers, there's also people in the audience that it affects them.
Yes.
And luckily, you know, I don't have anything serious that I'm dealing with. I don't really have too much like trauma or something, you know, to be triggered by. But even just me, I'm like, I didn't want to get upset today. Like, you know, I was kind of angry. I was like, you didn't give me any warning. You didn't give me a choice to leave,
right.
Like, or to not see this show. If I, like in a movie, you can look and say, oh, I'm
yes.
okay, not watching it. But it just says like, oh, the new hip hop show. And I'm like, this shit is making me want to cry. And I kind of feel angry of like, you force me to watch this. And it's not like a gallery where you can walk
right.
and leave and come back and go and take some space. You're stuck in your seat. There's people, you just stuck and you're kind of held hostage, like watch my show.
Right.
And I think for me as a choreographer, I'm like, I'm trying to work on my like long-term thing that I'm trying to work on with my piece is to create a dance piece, but like in a gallery format, like with, you know, like an exhibition or like
okay.
with statues, like on
okay.
because for me, this is super important, is like the audience should be allowed to be bored and to leave and come back and move. And, you know, I don't want to look at this dancer anymore. I want to look at that dancer. And the freedom of the audience is important to me. So I'm working on it. But I think this is something
but you can go out of a theater.
Yeah,
People
this is
sometimes they
I'm
go
hoping,
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you mean you can leave?
No, yeah, you can leave.
You can, but there's a pressure to not leave.
Yes.
A bit. Like, yes, you can just go like, all right, it's too much. But there's a little, it's like, it's not a gun to your head, but it's like
because you really have to wear your balls and okay,
yeah.
I'm leaving. But
sometimes by the time you get to the stage of I should leave, you already got hit with the things.
Right.
So anyway, for me, like
yeah.
this is how like the times when I came out complaining, like fuck this show, I was like, I think that it's the choreographer needs to understand that the audience are there and they're kind of, there's a bit of pressure. You're going to stay and watch this whole show. So you have to be a bit respectful of like how you're going to feel and kind of take them through a process. And if you're going to make them feel down, maybe lift them up, or how do you take care of an audience, I guess, without just being like you said, here's my shit. And what if your shit is okay for you, but it's too much to handle? Like, again, if you're like, if there's something deep and someone in there, they're really fragile, something happened. It's like they're people as well. And I think this is something that it feels not inconsiderate, like inconsiderate. Like you didn't think of me as a person. You just think of me as ticket money. This is how I felt. Like I'm just there to pay you and you get to say and do whatever you want. And I have to like just watch it.
No, I think some creators in many art, they they just want to share what they feel, you know. But sometimes, true, when you are in front of a painting, sometimes you can just look at the painting and it's really hard. You can leave, okay? It's about what you want to share with people, as a choreographer. And of course, I think we should think more about how do I want people to to live after my show. Yeah. But you can travel with deep things in the show. You just need to realize that you don't want to destroy them. You just want to, as I say, I want to give them hope. Yeah. And even if I can do sometimes things like my new show, there is like hard things that happens. But at the end, I'm like, I really want people to be happy at the end and to live like, okay, that was hard, but no, it's cool. Like, whoa, okay, these things. And it's about being selfish, but not too much. Like, you need to be selfish to create, not think about the audience and think about you and what you want to talk about. But at a moment, you need to make distance about it and be a little more universal, and not only focus on yourself. Like, take that selfish things you want that makes you create the piece, and after just move it to be more universal and more like, okay, everybody can have access to it, and it's gonna be okay. Tu vois? That's how I feel, because I'm like you. Like, some movie, I know I'm not gonna watch it. Like, oh, you're gonna hurt children in that movie?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not watching it.
Yeah.
It's dead for me.
Yeah.
Tu vois?
Especially like while you're having dinner with friends. It's like, oh, this is a good movie. Like,
yes. No, the children. They're not gonna die, the children. No, it's for me, movie, it's like in real life. I really take it like in real life. So show, it's the same, art is the same, song is the same. I take it very strongly. Yeah. So I create without thinking about the audience, but at the end I want the audience to feel good. So
in a way you do think of, like, because you think not so much what they're going to think of it, but how you want them to go through, and the ups and downs. And
I just want them to go out with energy and want to live. I really want them. Putain, je gargouille my breakfast. I really want them to want to live. Yes. To
be happy, to be excited.
I want to live. Not live.
Live, yeah.
Ouais. But when I create, I really think about my feelings, but not my feelings, like just inside. Like, is it all right? Is it real? Is it juste? The French word is juste.
Like, is it
just?
I don't know how to explain, but like I think we would use just as well. Is it like warranted? Is it like for a reason? Is that kind of what you mean?
It's like
you're not just doing things for the sake of it. Yes.
And yes, it's the good things. I can feel it. Yes, that makes sense. Yes, I can feel it. So I always have to be in touch with me and my feelings and my body language to create. But as soon as you want to create things for the audience, for me, you dead, because you don't do you. You do something for the others. So like, if you
go too far that way.
Yeah, you do things for the others. Like, you have big movie that works because, we're going to take those actors. They are super cool. And this kind of story, it works and people are going to like it. Yes, but it never going to stay in the iconic movie for me. And we're not going to say like, oh, it's this director. It's crazy. I mean, the strong director, you can, in movie, you recognize their style. It's like the choreographer.
But the only thing I would say is like, so I would almost say that it's the backwards with movies than dance, because I guess, say with movies, like the big, let's say like Avengers or these Fast and the Furious, or these bullshit, like the ones that we say are like more the iconic movies, right? They use more techniques and like, so in Fast and Furious, there's not really many cinematic techniques. Like, sure there is, but like not as much as like something more, I don't know, like an artistic type of film, right? So they would like, I'm really interested in like cinema, it's obviously from filming and stuff, and like all the different things that mean something. So like with horror, like if you have a close frame, like it restricts your field of view, like the viewer. Like, so if it's just somebody's face like this, so it makes you more tense because you don't see what's going on. And if you see their eyes looking, but you can't see, you feel like, oh, what's going on? So in that way, like a really good director is really thinking of the audience and thinking like, okay, people react like this to this, so I'm going to manipulate how they feel and what makes them feel this and feel that.
But it's just technical things to share your feelings.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So it's like the creation is for you, but then you take the technical aspects to enhance
but you have to in movie because you have really, but it's the same for a show. I mean, with the light, with the clothes. You see in Rouge, I take things, but because I want this atmosphere and I know if I put the light like that, it's going to tell that story. If I put a big white light, it doesn't tell the same things.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think this is what I think I was trying to say before, maybe to Kenrick, I don't think I articulated it as well. But like, there's a time to think of the audience. Like when you create, it's like you saying, like it enhances the story. The story comes from you, but you have to find a way to tell it that connects with the audience.
Yes, but no, for me, you have to find a way to connect with you, what you want to say.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with that and you take all the technical things, the light, the costume, the scenography, yes, okay, it's okay for what I want to say. This is gonna make, and you're okay with that, then you can share it to the people. But connecting with you, it's being connected with human because you feel things, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So you are your own test.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I feel that. Putain, je suis vraiment en train de gargouiller. I feel that. And I want, at that moment for my story, I want to feel that. So if you want to feel that, you know that the audience is going to feel that. It's a way to, but for me, you don't have to say like, oh, now I want the audience to cry. They're not gonna cry.
Okay.
If you think like this, they're not gonna cry. You just need to be really focused on you and your sensitivity and that I want to talk about it. And they're crying. Okay. You didn't do things for them to cry, but it was so just, so in the good place, but that they cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'm really interested in this type of thing because like my brain is usually like that of like trying to be really conscious of everything. Sometimes it's too much. Like, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, but like this is just how I have to work with. So often I try to find in myself like, okay, is there a way to do this in a good way? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm gonna always think of these things. Not I want the audience to cry, but like,
what is the good way?
This is what I'm trying to find out.
It's your way. If you have fun, if you're convicted, if you listen to your feelings, your heart, your inside, this is the good way. And I mean, I'm sure I heard something when David Lynch, he said like, always keep the final cut and always listen to what you want to do. And it's so important because this is the good way. There is no good way. If there is a good way, everybody can know the good way. So we all do like a crazy piece, crazy movie, crazy.
Yeah.
There's no good way. There's only ways, as many ways as many human there is. So the good way is to be fixed and honest with who you are, and it's gonna be your way. And you may have several ways because you just you're gonna evolve. So you try this way, then this way, but always try your way. Because even like, if there's no way for you, you have to create this way. You know what I mean? Like, if you deal with a way to do it, like, and you don't find the keys because nobody did it, but just create it, just do it, and it's gonna be a new way to do it. I don't know if I'm clear.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no road, just
make your own
road.
But I feel like this is hard for people to follow. But no, I know it's hard, but I mean, like, because I'm trying to also, like, I get where you're coming from, and I there's half of me that's like agrees with you, and then the other half is like, I'm imagining like somebody that's really new to the dance scene and wants to do this stuff, and it's like, how would they like create their own road when sometimes creating your own road doesn't always work? And that's the hard thing, is like, it's easy to be 18, like wanting to be a dancer. Okay, you create this piece that's really like you, and everyone goes, oh, I don't like it. And it's like, okay, you can be proud of it, but you didn't get paid, like you didn't get picked up. There's no success from it. But then you see other people that are like all doing this thing that everybody's doing, whatever it might be. And you're like, oh, if I do that, maybe I'm going to at least get some success. And I think this is where the balance of internal success.
Where is success? What is the success? For me, the success is not, it's not like doing something with money and blah, blah, blah. If everybody do the same things, this is not success. Success, it's when you go to your vision, you go, I'm going there, you're going to war. It's you. And when people like it, it's like, this is success because this is you. If you're trying to do something that works, okay, but it's gonna work. But how long? How strong? People gonna remember it? Not sure, because it seems like the others. So you have to make mistake. You have to do shit. You have to fail to learn how to create your road. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna take a fork to create no, the fork is maybe not the good things. Okay, I'm gonna try with the spoon. Okay, spoon is better.
Yeah.
A knife too. You know what I mean?
I think this is the important part, is like developing I think this is the important part, that if you have your own thing and you create your, like you did, right? It's like, you still, as much, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but like, as much as you are it sounds like very organic, like I'm going to do what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. I would imagine you still got better at what you do. Like you understood more, you learned how to dance better, to move stronger, like more ideas. So it wasn't just, I'm going to be like, let's say whenever you started, like, I'm going to be Marion and this is what I'm going to be forever. You were like, okay, I'm going to be this, but I'm going to develop this to be like better and to learn more skills and stuff like that. And I think that's maybe the thing that people miss, is like, okay, I'm going to do my own road. So like, for example, like, it's easy to explain with the battle scene. Like, okay, I'm just going to do my style. I'm not going to like change my dance for anyone. But it's like, okay, you go, you don't get through a prelim, you go, you don't get through a prelim, and it just keeps happening. And it's like the bit that they're missing is like, you have to do your own thing, but you have to work on it and to get like, and this is the hard thing. I think it's not just being yourself, it's being yourself, but
and work.
The best version of yourself.
You
know what I mean? Yeah.
Of course. But no, it's all about work, of course. Being yourself, but then you have to work. And even if you're not yourself, you have to work. So for me, you wasting time. And if you are yourself and you work, you own time.
Yeah, and I think that's what I would love. I mean, I was going to say I would love people to speak about it more, but that's what we're doing. But but it's like how, like the path of working at being yourself, because often we speak, I think anyway, like we speak about being yourself as like, it's so easy, like just be yourself. But it's like it's really hard, and it's also hard to not. Like what you were saying, you said, you know, when you, after the Madonna tour, you kind of went into yourself and you're like, how do I want to move? And you said it was really hard to do that. And I think that's super important, because maybe people would look at you and say, oh, just one day you were like, I'm not going to do hip hop anymore, I'm going to do this. And you just came out and did like Marion. And then it was that easy. But it's like, I guess, yeah, maybe I'm asking how you did it, but like what does it mean to like work on being yourself? Like is it identifying the parts of yourself that you want to pull out, or is it identifying what parts of yourself are helpful in the theater world or the battle world or whatever? Like how did you do that work, let's say?
But en fait, why it's hard? Because it's not only about you as a dancer, it's about you as a human. And that's why I say it's an introspection. It's really hard because psychologically, it's really hard. Because you... Attends, tiens. J'ai peur que ça tâche de...
Oh shit, sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh non, c'est vernis, ça va. Et, it's really hard because it's in everyday life. It's not only in your dance. It's like, as a human, am I really me every time? Do I want to please people? Do I want to please my friend? Do I want to please my boyfriend? Do I want to... Why do I do that that way? Is that really me? I'm scared. I'm shy. Why? You know what I mean? And you start to analyze everything. And I started that because on Madonna it was really hard with humans, okay? And I really work on me, like, why I'm so dramatic woman? Like, it's always a drama with me. Why does it hurt me? Why that hurts me? Why I'm so like that? And you're like, bram, and pushing everything and try to be really honest with you. Like, okay, I was jealous, I was machin, all those bad things, and said, okay, why? And it took me like a year to clean that shit, you know, but clean that shit as a human, not as a dancer. And it's parallel.
It's linked, yeah.
But as soon as I clean myself as a human, and we're always cleaning yourself, it's all life. But as a moment, you reach yourself and you're like, okay, I'm myself. I still have to work on it because I want to be a better human. I want to be real. I want to be me, and I have to embrace everything, but I want to be cool with I want to be cool with me, and voila. So it's work on you as a human, because sometimes we just lie to ourselves, you know. So in your dance, you just lie to yourself.
Yes.
And it was a parallel process, like in life and in dance. And at a moment, it just did, oh yes, I dance as I am. Now it's me. Now I'm okay with that. So yes, it's really hard, and I can see that when I work with dancers and singers, and because sometimes they're like crying a lot, and because it's so like, oh shit, but it's not me, who I am. They are lost, and when I comment on dit? Not teaching, but when I teach people. Now it's more like
mentoring kind of.
Yes,
yeah.
It's more like they want to learn things, but I teach like to meet themselves, you know, and to be honest in a move, and to who you are. Do you really like hip hop? Do you prefer house dance? What do I see you do? But tu vois, like who are you really? And after I work with technique that are not dancing technique, it's energy technique, like more, I don't know, kung fu practice or things more about energy and really movement, because everybody has his own dance. I went really too far in my answer.
No, it's great, I like it.
But it's really like, it's a really hard job to find yourself. But if you want to be cool with you and happy, but for me, it's the best things that you have to do.
Yeah. I wonder if this is why, tell me if you disagree, but like, I think it seems like in art, there's like a certain, it doesn't always have to be age, but like a time that you've been doing it where you start to really, you know, like if you start when you're 18, it's like when you get to like 29, 30, it's like when you really start to mature and you really start to, your art starts to look, I find.
Yes, but
it's because you grow as a person, I guess.
Of course, but after you have some people that are really them since a lot of time. I know some people, they don't have to work on them. It's like, okay, you saw you. So no problem. Other problems, always problems, but no real problems.
Yeah.
But to jump on what you say, like you do yourself and the piece is not okay, etc. Maybe you're not a choreographer. Maybe your real power is not to choreograph something. Maybe it's, and sometimes we really want to do something, but if you really search inside, you're like, no, that's not what I want to do. And that's why it doesn't work. Maybe I'm better as an interpret, as a singer, as a writer, as a something else, and we can meet people that dance and you're like, it's cool, but it's not your real power. It's not your real power.
So maybe it's like finding out, this is a really deep point, I guess, that you brought up, but like it's not about what you want to be, it's about who you actually are. And like, that's sometimes not the same thing.
Exactly.
Because I think people do that where they're like, oh, I'm gonna be myself. Like, I want to be a choreographer, so I'm gonna just do it. And it's like, actually, you're saying that's the road you want to take, but like, what is the road you're actually like on in real life? Which I guess is hard because, I guess can you be like who you actually are? Can it be someone that you don't want to be? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because like, there's things in you that sometimes you don't want to be that person. Like, say, for example, like your real power, like you were saying, is to be a singer, but you don't want to be a singer. You want to be a choreographer. So then you're like, I want to do that, but but it's not me, but I really want to do it.
You can do it, but your real power is going to be in a singer. So maybe you create a piece and you sing in your piece. I don't know. It's just like looking at who you are is too like looking at your skills, your real power. It's like, I call it, it's like the superhero, and each person has a superpower, but not a lot of people know what their superpower is. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you see dancers like they try hard and it's okay, but maybe they're not made to be a dancer. They're made. You have like some choreographer really strong and they're not good dancer. You have really good dancer, really bad choreographer.
Yeah.
You have, and we see that, so we just need to accept it. And as soon as you accept it, it's like, okay, embrace it and go have fun in what you want to do. It doesn't mean like you can't do that, but you have to know that your power is here. If you really want to do that, find a way to bring your power to make it happen. But you know what I mean?
I like 100% agree. Actually, it's funny. Like, I mean, a lot of the time when we're talking now, I'm like, devil's advocate. Do you have this expression in French?
Devil's, wait.
Like, when you're playing the other side, like I'm just like playing the other side just for the conversation.
Bet you agree.
Yeah. But this is the thing. A lot of what you're saying, I agree with actually. And it's funny because I feel like it's funny that we came around to this, but like, this is how I feel about myself as an artist, right? Or let's say as a dancer. I've never felt like I'm a natural dancer. Like I didn't grow up dancing really, like it culturally wasn't something I did. And I just decided one day, like, I want to be a dancer because I interacted with some shows and stuff. But for me, I was like, okay, and I had some friends who I think were natural dancers. Like they just like didn't train. Like when they first started, they were just good. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like, so for me, I was like, okay, what am I good at? I'm good at like what we were saying earlier, which can be the bad side also, but like breaking down, analyzing like, well, when they walked over to the left, it created this space on the stage and that looked like that. And if I put a light there, you know what I mean? My brain does that with everything. And sometimes it's too much. And sometimes like I get anxious because I'm like overthinking conversations or, you know what I mean? But for me, it's like, okay, that thing is my way into being a dancer. It's like, cool, I'm not just gonna, and now I'm learning to find the middle ground, but especially at the beginning, it's like, I'm not going to go to a battle and just be like, just feel. And I'm going to smoke somebody. Like, I'm like, okay, how do I get good at this style? Like, what does it mean? How do I make my moves look stronger? What does it mean to, what you were saying about Michael Jackson, like having presence?
Ouais.
For me, it's not something I can feel. Like I can't just go on a stage and be like, I'm going to have presence, and it doesn't mean anything to me. So I have to be like, what does it mean? There's body language. Is it like lifting your chest? Is it when your chin is above or low? This is like insecure. This is this. And like analyzing, like even I read some books on like body language to like understand dance and like, okay, so if I do this, it means like I'm trying to protect myself. But if I do this, it's like showing that I'm comfortable. And like, for me, this is how I take what you said is like, my superpower is like to learn about the thing, even if I can't feel it naturally. And maybe, yes, there's other types of art. I think photography is that for me, is where I just feel it. Like with photography, I feel like what you were saying about how people dance. Like I don't know. I just think this is a good picture and it works. And, I also educate myself with photography, but it's more with dance that I'm like what you said, where it's like, this is not necessarily, I don't think is my superpower, but I really want to do it. So I'm going to find a way to do it with what's my superpower. Right. Does it make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense, but you can't lie in dance.
Yes.
For me, you can't lie. Even if you learn all the body language, if you don't feel it, you lie.
Exactly.
You pretend stronger.
Yes, yeah.
But sometimes and the power of the dance, like sometimes you have someone like feel insecure, but he's gonna dance. He's insecure, but wow, it's gonna be so powerful because he's so feeling insecure that makes his les défauts, you have quality and you have default.
Yeah.
Your default is become a quality because it's real.
Yes.
For me in dance is that as soon as it's real, it becomes a quality. And if you're really like insecure, okay, just embrace it and do something because it's gonna be a power after. Power, it's not only positive things. For me, power is to embrace all the things you have, even if it's negative, and just be honest, and it's gonna be a power. Mais qu'est-ce que j'allais dire? But I think I'm a better choreographer than a better dancer.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I can feel it. But I love to dance and I love to express myself. So I want to do it. And I want to do it my way. But I know I can feel that my superpower is to tell story. Mm-hmm. Since I'm young, I'm a child, I tell story. I love. So when I dance, what I like, it's to tell a story. When I improv, it's to, even if it just abstract story, but I love to tell a story and to be real and to, so maybe my mother, she tell me that you're a storyteller, and this is maybe my superpower, storyteller. But I can dance with that superpower because I can tell story. Yeah. And that's how you said, like, you can dance with your superpower. And voila, even if your superpower is that, you can still do other things with that superpower.
Yeah. With that.
Lots of words.
But this is something I really love because it's how I feel. There's a lot of let's say like this, the creatives that I admire are people like this. So like there's a guy that I love called Daniel Arsham. Do you know Daniel Arsham? He's from America. But he's actually like a sculptor and a painter by trade. What? But he works with like fashion and like he did set design for Merce Cunningham. He did the Dior fashion show with Kim Jones. Like he did, like they used his aesthetic for the set. Yeah. But it's like, I imagine like people like that, it's like, okay, you might not be able to design clothes, but you work in fashion. Yeah. You might not be able to dance, but you work in dance. Exactly. And it's like you take your thing and you don't just stick in the world of it. You like, you develop that thing. And the reason he can do that, like he created like a Nas album cover and set design and this, and and it's like you build your thing, and I guess it works in a abstract sense and a very real sense. Like he created a brand, for want of a better word, and then he can use that wherever he wants. And I guess it works in dance and it works outside of the world as well. Exactly.
You can déjà in dance you can do like battle, teaching, commercial, but more, you can do so many things with dance, like you even don't think about it. So yes, it's not about putain, ça y est. My English is going in vacation. It's not about being only in this.
Yes.
You have to open your mind and look everything to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to do, but you need to be aware of your superpower and how to use it to do other things really cool, and it can be successful.
Yeah.
Because you use your superpower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like, oh, your superpower is not dance, so you shouldn't dance. No.
Yeah.
If you use your superpower, maybe you'll be successful in dance because this is your road.
And this is, like, there's so many other roles, even if you can do it to become a choreographer or whatever, but also you could become a lighting designer.
Exactly.
Or, there's other ways into the to the thing.
Ouais.
That's interesting. I was just thinking I was going to ask you something else. Maybe not. Well, seeing as Rouge is coming up, tell me a bit about Rouge before, because when's the live stream?
15, 16, 17 of July.
Yeah, so this will be out before then. That's cool. So if you're listening and you want to check it out, do. Rambert are hosting the live stream of Rouge. So, okay, so I've seen Rouge. Maybe not everyone that like has or how would you describe Rouge? Like if I said to you, okay, you have a show, like what's the show? Like what's it about? Like what is it? Like what's your, like, do you have a description that you would say like, oh, it's this?
I have a little story.
Yeah.
That it's, now I have 10 dancers for the stream. It's 10 neighborhood. Their building is on fire in the middle of the night. So they just go out in the middle of the night and they grab everything they could grab at the moment, but they have to leave the building. So it's a journey of this 10 neighborhood, how they're going to make it after, because they have nothing else except them. It's all we were talking about. It's like, it's a meeting of themselves. Like, I have nothing else. I just grab this, but I have to keep going with only my body, my soul, me, what I am, who I am. Do I really want to live? Do I really want to... And voilà, Rouge is a meeting to their self for the dancers.
Interesting.
Voilà.
So it's like kind of, it's almost like it starts off like a very narrative story.
Yes.
And then becomes super abstract.
It's always like more like that.
Yeah.
My show is like very narrative story, but the parallel story is very abstract.
Yeah.
And it's like,
somebody goes to a supermarket and buys the universe.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Kind of. And for me, when you watch Rouge, it's like you spend 25 minutes in the other dimension, and it can be inside of their brain. It can be this dimension in between two worlds. Like, I stop now, what is after? And it's that little world that are the dimension are changing, the perspective are changing, and you're just gonna like meet yourself. Because when you go meet yourself, like you j'ai envie de dire débuild, mais non, you
like the opposite of like deconstruct almost.
Voilà, you deconstruct things. So everything is moving when you take off une pierre. When you build a house and you take off something, this gonna fall. And then you're gonna do, and so it's the same. You out and the only things you have is you. And then how you gonna do? And if you take off, everything is like changing and you have to rebuild in another way. So it's just, 30 minutes in a dimension in between two worlds. Nice. Are they really alive? Did everybody die? I don't know.
Oh wow!
Like maybe they all die in the fire building.
Oh Jesus!
maybe they are just ghosts. Maybe it's the last judgment. Like, are you gonna really live? You want to stay on Earth and live? Okay, let's see who really want to live. It's that kind of story.
The fire thing is making the smoky section mean different things now. So that's the like overview, let's say, of Rouge. So like in a more practical way, like Rambert basically, to simplify, like called you and said, hey, do you want to choreograph something on our, was it for a certain show, or was it just, do you want to come and choreograph something and then we'll program it somewhere?
No, I think it was already for this triple bill.
Yeah. So, was that the
Wine
premiere?
and Oster. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ouais.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if it had been somewhere before. So they said, we have a slot. Can you come and choreograph something on our dancers for this?
Yes.
So then when you came, how much of it was like, learn these steps? And how much of it was like, okay, let's work together and create, like, did you come with choreography at times and like copy me, or was it really in the moment of like?
No, we like, as I say, we played for 3 weeks. Like we just have fun in the studio.
So you made the whole thing in 3 weeks?
Yes. Okay. And we just have fun and try this and try that. And let's start. I knew I wanted to do something in between falling and be.
Okay. So you had kind of like themes and ideas.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And, but after I just let my heart do things and share with the dancers and impro and really like a playground. And I was like, okay, let's try this. Oh, this is cool. And as I said before, oh, this is cool. I like it. I have no link with what I did. Oh, this is cool. And after it just makes sense. Like, oh yes, this makes sense with this. Yeah, yes, of course. And that makes sense with the story. Okay. It's like when you have a, criminology scene and you put everything on a
you're like, I know who it is.
And you see that in the coffee and the machine and you do like yes, that's it, and you see the big picture. Same when I create, I do this and that because everything that makes me vibrate, I like it. Oh yes, I like it. And after, but it all makes sense. Every time I like, it's even like I don't create. I just open the tunnel of creation and like the universe give me that. And I like, okay, let's do that. Tu vois?
But you know what? I think I'm starting to realize the more I get older and speak to people who are like, maybe I say higher up, but in terms of like where they're working, not necessarily in skill level or something, but I think a lot of the younger dancers or choreographers, I feel like they are in a way like getting paid for what they've created. Whereas I feel like with people like you and other people that I've spoken to, they realize that they're getting paid for who they are. You know what I mean? So like Rambert are not saying like, Marion, we'd like to hire you for this, the Rouge thing, like propose us something. Yes, we like it. No, we don't like it. It's like, you are the thing that's valuable. So come, and whatever you do in the space is gonna be good because you created it. And I think we all have this, but we don't realize it until a certain point. We're like, oh shit, I'm the thing, I'm the prize. But before we're like, well, I don't like, what did I create? Is this thing that like, is this piece of choreography worth this, or is this piece of choreography there? It's like, it doesn't matter, fuck all the choreography. It's like whatever you make is gonna be good, you know? But yeah, I think
so you have to be you and you have to listen to you.
No, it's true.
Because it is the best reconnaissance. Grateful, or like, you know, when you're happy because you have appreciation. It's like the best appreciation, like when people call you for who you are, you know? It's like they don't want you to do like this or like this. They just, do some Marion Motin, please. Do whatever you want.
And that's like crazy because it's like literally anything you do.
Cool. And it's the best, for me, it's the best successful things. It's like, wow, they want me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And even sometimes I don't realize, I'm like, really? Really, you want me?
Yeah.
You sure? Like for Rambert, I was like, he's sure, like Wayne McGregor of Chichester, me, come on.
It's like, you sure about this?
You're sure about it? But that's so cool.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think, like we can start doing that early. We don't have to wait for Rambert to call us to start doing that, you know? I think that's, my friend Tally is like, I was talking about her earlier, but she made me realize, like the way she choreographs is like this, like to workshop with the dancers and to do tasks, but not tasks like create material. It's like ways of thinking of things, and then whatever they create is like, cool, that's the choreography, like we did it.
But après, I create move in Rambert, like all the moves I created. But it was in interaction with the dancer. I was like, we were like sharing, and sometimes I put music and I just try things and they all follow me. And we just, a lot too. I put music and I dance, they follow me.
And just freestyle, like you making things up, or it was things you had in mind?
No, only freestyle. Okay. Only freestyle. I try things. Bam, bam. But I can't do only that. I need to see them too. So a lots of impro. There's some moment or they're really improvisating, even in the show, because I want to see their dance and how they move. But all the routine, the choreography, I write it. I made it. But it was really like just freestyling.
So did you kind of do like you played and did these things and then you went home and looked at, like, did you look at video and then be like, okay, that looked like we put this together, that one? Because you said about the crime scene, like you need to look at it. But did you do that, like go home and look at it? And
En fait, for Rouge, my mother helped me because she was there, and because I had my baby and she stayed with him the day, and she said like, you should try to have a method and you can do this. And she did a line and she said, this is your show. I had to do 25 minutes. This is your story, and you can like have elements. And when you have this element, you can put an order. This is, and move things. So yes, like the criminology,
like kind of like cut out and like, okay, this is first, this is the end, this is the middle, and
you know. And I tried to work like that on Rouge, and it was really good because I had things like that, and I just, okay, this is cool. And I had for Rouge, and that was the first time I had the music, because I worked with Mika Luna. He made the music, and the music is so cool. We really made it together. Like, he speak with me a lot. I said, I want this, some guitar like that, and like da. But he created he's huge. He's amazing. And so I had the music, and I was like, oh, on this part, I want something more like that. And blah, blah, blah.
Was that that was before you made the choreography?
It's before, and even in the same time, because I made things. I made part on other music. We were just playing, and I did some all these routing things we have dans truc, and it was on another song. And I said to Mika, and I film, and I said, look, we have this. Can you have me something more funky for this part, or more like that? Da. And he made it, and he put all this together. So cool. But yes, I love to create moves, but I need to see on everybody. So I do things, they follow me, and I see, oh, this is cool when we all do that. Yeah. And I like it, and I feel if they like it, and if we are all together, and voilà. But they didn't know. Sorry.
No, go.
Like we work, and like I had 3 weeks, and like 2 weeks was gone, and they're like, do you know what is the show? Because we play a lot, but we don't know what is the show. And I was like, don't worry, it's coming. But tu vois, they didn't know. It was really at the end that, okay, tac, put this together, bra. And we had it.
Okay, interesting. So then now, because that was the first show of it, and now you're kind of back. This is the second time you've come back for Rouge, or?
Yeah.
So when you come back now, are you tempted, or are you allowed to like change it, or is it just kind of keep the same show? But
I'm allowed to change it, but I don't want to change.
Yeah.
And we just rethink it for the camera, because it's a live stream.
Yeah.
But it's really more like, it's not about.
I would think that the show looks good on camera, no? Like, what sort of things had to change? I mean, you don't want to give away too much, but.
No, but I just add some little details because I knew, en fait, it's not about filming a dance creation. It's about taking that dance creation and thinking of it for a movie.
So now it's a dance film instead of a dance show. Now it's really
a dance film, not a dance show. So
nice.
I add some little details. That we have those lines. They can move now for the movie. I add something at a moment. I don't say a little scenography things to bring something. And we just work on how to shoot it. How we were talking about it, like close up or really far, slowly. Now more cut because it's more intense. Now really soft. I want to see that scene really close and then bam.
And did you try to, when you were creating the film version of it, did you try to like replicate the feel of it on stage? So like you said, like, okay, this one is high energy, so we want more cuts. Or did you change bits to make it better? Like, okay, we're going to do, this was a really calm section, but actually we're going to have a closer, I don't know, something like that. Or was it all just like very much, okay, this is how you felt in the theater, you're going to feel this on the film?
I think, yes, I want to stay based on what we have on theater, but to bring it to a movie. So I really have the occasion to put light on some scene, on some way to shoot that. But it's very different than in theater, because in theater you look at what you want to look.
Yes.
Now we make you look what we want, you know.
Yeah.
And the way we shoot, the speed, the cut, or the all this is so important. As you said, like if you shoot like that, it's like
close up. Makes you tense.
Makes you tense. If you shoot like that, it's okay. If you shoot like that, it can be mysterious. There is technical things to make the audience feel what you want them to feel with this part of the show. And but it was so interesting because now I always think of my dance piece as a movie.
I can tell. I said that when we saw Rouge. It felt like a movie or like a music video almost.
Where no, I don't hate, but dance piece, I'm quite bored. I mean, dance for dance, I don't care. I need a story, not a story like Once Upon a Time, a little girl. I need a universe. I need to travel somewhere in the head of the choreographer. So I need light. I need to be in another world. I need to whoa. And so that's how I think my piece. It's always like, well, like a movie, a universe, something.
Yeah, to like transform the stage into the world.
Yes.
Like
a stage with dance, me, I don't care. I can have a good moment, like, oh, cool. But it doesn't, I like to see dance piece and like, remember it. And like, it gives me, it leaves me with feelings, with something, with, I remember. Sometimes I watch dance pieces. It arrives when I didn't really like it, but the universe was so strong. That I'm like, putain, I loved it. I don't know if I like it, but I just, yes, I love it because it stayed in my mind and tu vois? And sometimes with movies, it's the same. Like, I don't really like it, but I just remember it every time. The universe is so strong. And I think it's cool when, for me, it's more successful to say like, I really love it, or like, I can't forget it. I don't know if I love it, but I can't forget it. You know?
I think like I can't remember where I heard this, but like that the worst thing you can have as an artist is like just to be like forgettable.
Exactly.
Just like, it was okay. Like you'd rather people hate it than to be like, it
exactly.
was all right.
And when you do like everybody, it's hey, you were cool, but you how to get off everybody? If you do the same.
Yeah, because even if it's like, you know, you do a piece and or whatever type of art, you know, and people are like you said, like, I keep thinking about that piece. Like, I don't know if I liked it. Like, it's like, okay, there's something that they reacted to or made them feel. And, you know, it doesn't always have to be, oh my God, amazing. That was everything I hoped for. Like, you know, it can be whatever. But as long as they're thinking about it and talking about it, that's the thing.
Yeah, and feeling, like, yes, I can't forget it.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And I think that like brings it round to what you were saying about being yourself. Because for me, the most time when I say meh is when it's somebody just doing what I've seen a million times.
You know?
Like if it's something unique, I might hate, I always say this, like, especially with battle dancers, I'd rather hate your style and it be your style than love your style, but it's not your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I love your dance, but I love your dance because you dance like Alex the Cage and I love Alex the Cage dance.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, there's another guy and it's like, I really fucking hate your style, but I never seen anybody dance like you. I'd rather that, like, because I'm going to remember it. I'm even going to enjoy watching you more. Like, I think it looks ugly and horrible and it's not what I would do ever, but I'm like, yeah, I want to see it more because it's you.
Ouais.
So yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't like it because it's different and you're
it's
not
uncomfortable
used.
or
you know, but
and like don't liking it in air quotes is like, you know, if I say I don't like somebody's style, it's like, it's actually I do like it. You know what I mean? Because I like the authenticity. I like that. It's just like uncomfortable. It's not how I would dance. It's not easy on my eye. You know what I mean? It's like you know, like models, sometimes models are not like conventionally pretty.
Yeah.
But they look good. You know what I mean? It's like you're not pretty, but you look good. Yeah. And it's kind of, it makes sense. You see them and you're like, your face is amazing, but it's not what people would, it's not like symmetrical or whatever.
But that's what I said when I can have a crush on somebody and it's like weird physical, like really atypical. I don't know. And it's just like, I don't know why, but wow. And because you're so you and you're so unique and you're so, I have access of your soul and it's like, for me, it's the best beauty.
And it's also the opposite where there's some like, I find this with some like movie star type of people where it's like, they're very beautiful, but I'm like,
but nothing happens.
Yeah, I don't feel anything.
You're not
like,
touched.
Yeah.
C'est ça.
Yeah. You need a little something.
Yes, exactly. Et qu'est-ce que j'allais dire à propos de ça?
Je sais pas.
Ben non, mais it's a bit cliché, but it's all about the inside and the outside. And sometimes you're really so beautiful you know, like you see people and you said like, he's such a good person. I can feel it like in his eyes. It's a wow. Yeah. So you think he's so beautiful and you have like really aesthetic, beautiful person and you're like, he's just a fucking asshole. I can see it in his eyes. So he's just ugly. Yeah. You know?
Or nothing. Like just nothing, I don't feel anything from you. Yeah. So
it's like art, but art is an expression of humanity. You know, you can't separate things. Art, it's made by human, and it's how to express yourself, how to express feeling, how to express the things that you struggling, your inside, beautiful things, bad things, everything. So it's so related to the human you are. You can't separate the art and the human, the dancers and the human you are. For me, it's like it's so connected. Your inside, your body, the way you dance, the way you speak, the way you. I think my dance is, you know, I speak and like, and my dance is.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that in life. If I were really someone who speaks really cool like that, I'm sure my dance would be like this, like really cool water but I'm not. So my dance is how I am in life.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's a good place to
ending.
Yeah, to end. This is some good advice for people. No, I love that though, and I love the whole. As much as I'm arguing with you, but like I really agree with everything. Like it's really true, and I think it's super important to hear these things from someone like you, because I think this is something that's really evident from the outside with you is like I think it's really clear for me, like, and I wouldn't say, like, I've watched your dance, like, kind of by being in a dancer and in the scene and stuff like that, but I don't think I, like, studied it, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of your work that I haven't seen. But even for me, it's like, I can see that, even if you didn't tell me that, I can see that your success is from being yourself. You know what I mean? It's like really obvious. So it's just like, okay, this is what makes Marion special, is because there's no one else that you're like, oh, she kind of looks like, or, oh, she must have trained with, like, you can't do that. I feel like, I'm like, yeah, this is like super different. And, you know, again, like I haven't seen all your work. So maybe there's some of your work that I wouldn't like and some that I would. But it's like, for me, I'm like, okay, I know for sure all of that work is going to look unique. Right. You know what I mean? So I think it's really nice to like hear some of this stuff from you in terms of, I always think about like who could benefit from these conversations, I guess. And like, you know, I mean, me, I can also benefit from this. But like, you know, people that are, you know, want to choreograph or want to be artists, and the importance of being yourself, but also that it works. You know what I mean? And it's a real thing that, and it depends what your values are, but like you can get paid to be yourself. Like,
but there's a real things too that it's to do just a less parallel in life and works. It's like when you're yourself in life, you're surrounded by people who love yourself. Mm-hmm. When in life you're someone who wants to please people, at a moment, it's not okay. Because you please. But the time you said what is real for you, people are like, you don't please me anymore. You're not my friend anymore. You know, if you're really you will, people who follow you, it's people who loves you for who you are. Your bad way, your good way. If you pretend to be someone, people will follow you for something not real. Yep. And at a moment, it's gonna destroy everything. For art, it's the same. If you pretend to do something, you may have success a time, but at moment, it's done. If you do whatever you want, people who gonna follow your work, they really love your work. So it's cool. They love what you really do. Yeah. Not what you pretend to do.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe you're gonna not have like some viral fucking TikTok video or something, but you're gonna have like people that will always show up for your work to watch and
exactly,
to come back
and they're gonna call you for you, not for doing something it's not you.
Yeah.
And it's better, I think.
Yeah. Wow. And it's better in terms of you and like how you feel, because it's gonna be draining to chase what everybody wants.
And for me, it's the beginning of success. I mean, if you're gonna have money and more money if you stay like that, because it's gonna work. I can't think that if it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, you have choreographer, they do things and people hate it, but it's them, and they are always in theater, always, and it works. Because it's them, and people like, there is a shit on stage and blah, blah, blah. Yes, but...
But you know, it's that saying like, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yes.
Like, okay, it doesn't matter if we're talking about me, somebody's gonna, because also if everybody hates your work and I put your work on stage, people are gonna buy tickets just to shit on you. Like, so it's like, hey, you paid the money, come and see it.
Ouais.
But yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
And we still have a whole day ahead of us. Cool. So yeah, guys, if you get a chance to see the Rambert live stream, when did you say it was? 15?
15, 16, 17.
Yeah. Rouge will be, it's a double bill.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I've seen pretty much the whole of the other piece, and it's really nice. So
yes.
I think it's going to...
Icon-D.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be super nice. I think you can check out all the details on the Rambert Instagram page. Check out Marion. If for some reason you don't know her at the moment, check her out because she's amazing. If you came here for Marion, check me out. Watch my other podcasts. Not much more else to say. Thanks everyone for listening. Check out the other podcasts. Comment and let me know what you think. If there's stuff that we've said that you disagree with or agree with, please comment and let us know, and just engage in the conversation with us rather than just nodding your head and then going about your day. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks Marion for being here.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap, I think. I never know how to end it. That's it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.